Welcome to the Betting Pros PGA podcast. I'm Pat Fitzmaurice, joined as always by Bo McBrayer. One more tournament to go before the Masters. It's the Valero Texas Open. After quickly recapping the Texas Children's Houston Open, Bo and I will give you a full betting preview of the Valero. We'll let you know who's on our early betting cards, and we'll make one and done picks at the end of the show. Well, Bo, they call him the chef, and Minwoo Lee cooked up his first victory on the PGA Tour, winning the Houston Open by one shot over Scottie Scheffler and Gary Woodland. It seemed only a matter of time before Minwoo got that first win. The 26-year-old Australian had finished top 20 in 4 of his previous 6 starts this season. He had a couple of runner-up finishes in 2024. Minwoo's a big hitter, and he's made some notable improvements in other areas. Last season, he was outside the top 100 in strokes gained putting. This season, he ranks 4th in that category. And golf is more fun when Minwoo is contending. He has this effervescent personality. He's a social media star with a big following on Instagram and TikTok. Minwoo Lee is a young star for modern times. He took a 4-shot lead into the final round at Houston. Didn't play great on Sunday. Minwoo Lee shot a 3-under par 67 on a birdie fest kind of a day when everyone was going low. Gary Woodland and Sami Välimäki posted 62s on Sunday. Scottie Scheffler shot a 63. Rory McIlroy and Wyndham Clark were among the players who shot 64s. Things got a little scary for Minwoo and the people who bet on him late Sunday afternoon when he dumped his tee shot into a pond on the par 5 16th. But after a bogey on that hole, Minwoo parred the last 2 holes. And Bo, that par on the 18th hole was pretty clutch. Minwoo might have been a little too amped up with his approach shot, which ran all the way to the back fringe, 53 feet away from the hole. And then he hit just a terrific lag putt to 8 inches to seal the win. Your thoughts on Minwoo Lee's victory at the Houston Open?
Well, it was a spectacular victory, and I hate to say it, but I added him after we recorded this show because when I saw the forecast was going to be wet, I knew that the distance advantage would be even more palpable because the course would be soft. Therefore, you have no reason not to hit 14 drivers on that golf course or 13 drivers with the 5 par 3s. And Minwoo Lee is 190 average ball speed, which is up there number 2 on tour behind Aldrich Potgieter. We're talking serious club head speed, serious ball speed, and his approach game had been really getting hot the last few weeks. We saw him at the Players kind of push in contention there. I was glad to add him at 35-1, and it was great because we got there with consistent golf. He didn't look great on Sunday, but he also didn't have to be because of how spectacular he was the first 3 days. The course was the easiest it's ever been at Memorial Park with the rain that they got on Thursday and Friday. It was gettable. The scoring was an all-time low. I usually see this course put out 15 or 13 as the winning score. It was 20 under par this time. The soft conditions and the overseeded Bermuda was extremely easy for this field. And Minwoo Lee getting his first PGA Tour win, I'm happy I was there for it.
And I know that, a lot of people see that tournament as a Masters tune-up. I don't think it was playing very Masters-like on that final day.
No, much too slow, especially on the greens.
Yeah.
Mike Kim said that the same thing. He said, yes, a lack of thick rough and some trees kind of gives you a Masters vibe. The layout gives you a Masters vibe, but it's never been that slow at Augusta National, even when they get rained out.
Yeah, exactly. Now we'll plunge into the Valero Texas Open in just a moment, but first,
download the free BettingPros app for iOS and Android. With Sportsbook Sync, automatically track your bets across all major sportsbooks in one spot. Easily monitor your bet performance by sport and bet type, including game picks, props, and parlays. Create custom betting systems to find winning trends and profitable opportunities. Get your free trial of BettingPros Premium by downloading the app at bettingpros.com/apps and activating your trial on the upgrade screen.
The Valero Texas Open will be played at TPC San Antonio, the Oaks course. It's a par 72 measuring 7,438 yards. It's a Greg Norman design. TPC San Antonio is longer than the average PGA Tour course, but as long as you keep your tee shots out of the trees and out of the Kevin Na underbrush, missing fairways isn't going to hurt you that much. The rough is pretty forgiving at the Oaks course, but expect some firm, fast conditions this time around, unlike last weekend. That's sort of the norm at TPC San Antonio. It's a ball strikers course. Players who excel on approach shots have an edge here, but the short game is going to be important as well, since it can be hard to hold these greens, especially with longer approach shots. The finishing stretch isn't a killer like we had at the Copperhead course for the Valspar a couple weeks ago, but it is a fun finishing stretch at TPC San Antonio. This is a heavily bunkered course, and the par 3 16th has a bunker right in the middle of the green. The par 4 17th, 347 yards. It's drivable if the wind cooperates. And the 18th is a 591-yard par 5 that should be ripe for birdies. The wind is always a factor at TPC San Antonio. The course is designed so that downhill holes usually play into the wind and uphill holes typically play downwind. It's going to be hot in San Antonio the first 2 days, high temperatures approaching degrees. Then it gets cooler on the weekend with a forecasted high of 80 degrees on Sunday, only 69 degrees on, 80 on Saturday, only 69 on Sunday. Winds are expected to blow 5 to 10 miles an hour on Thursday, and then 10 to 20 miles an hour for the rest of the tournament. Chance of scattered thunderstorms on Friday and Saturday morning. The defending champion at the Valero is Akshay Bhatia. He beat Denny McCarthy in a playoff after both finished at 20 under par. Bhatia and McCarthy finished 9 shots clear of the field. It was quite the two-man duel, you might recall. But Bhatia seemed to injure his shoulder after fist pumping a birdie putt on the 72nd hole, but young Akshay recovered and made a tournament-winning birdie on the first playoff hole. Corey Connors won the Valero Texas Open in 2023. He finished minus 15 to beat Sam Stevens by a shot. Connors also won back in 2019. JJ Spawn won here in 2022 with a score of 13 under. JJ is skipping this event for some reason. That seems kind of strange considering how well he usually plays here. And Jordan Spieth won in 2021, finishing 18 under. Oh, give me your take on TPC San Antonio and what it will take to win this week.
I've predicted the winner the last 2 years in a row, and so I'm going to make it a three-peat. Corey Connors 2 years ago, Akshay last year, 55-1. That was a great day. I had my friend Kelly from Phoenix over to watch the final round at my house, and that was great. We had a big celebration because we had both had tickets with Akshay Bhatia on it. This golf course is not difficult. It is above average length, top 10 in length on course, but it's a par 72. Very traditional layout, pretty much the most unremarkable golf course on the PGA Tour. Very, very kind of meh. It's okay. It's a nice little tune-up for Augusta. For those that didn't go to Houston, there's a few left that you have to win to get into the Masters. This is your last chance. If you didn't qualify last week, you have to win this week to get into the Masters, like Akshay did last year. This is just it's going to be a scoring fest. I think even with the conditions, there's really not much that can be said other than this golf course doesn't really have a lot of teeth except for around the greens. If you miss the greens, it's kind of tricky because of how fast the greens are. But the way that guys have been attacking golf courses this season with the young guns and some of the old vets, I think that we're going to see another 20 under par finish, and we're going to see lots of great shots on this kind of ho-hum golf course.
Yeah, if it was really gusty, maybe we'd see some higher scores, but the wind should be pretty cooperative relatively. It's going to be breezy, but nothing you're not used to in San Antonio.
No.
And nothing.
We might see low 90s. Like I saw 93 for Thursday and Friday. So might see more heat stroke than bad strokes.
Yes, very true. Before we get to the odds for the Valero Texas Open, the battle for the jacket is heating up in Augusta, and there's no better place to sweat the action than DraftKings Daily Fantasy, the ultimate destination for fantasy golf fans. And for this year's first major, DraftKings is giving all customers a shot to play free for a $1 million top prize with your next $10 deposit. It's simple to play. Build your dream lineup while staying under the salary cap, then sit back and watch as your players rack up points. Every birdie, every bogey, every clutch putt Feel the intensity of every shot. Bo, I'm going to have Patrick Reed in some of my DraftKings DFS lineups. I think he's going to be a sneaky value play. He won the green jacket in 2018, and I think he's kind of been overlooked in recent years. Like Reed's excellent short game, always plays up at Augusta, and he just seems to know how to think his way around this golf course. Plus, I think Patrick Reed is going to be really bargain priced relative to some of the other guys, since kind of off the radar being on the Live Tour. So, are there one or two players you expect to have in your DraftKings lineup at the Masters?
I like Reed myself. I'm also going to throw in some Ludvig Åberg because even though I don't really think he's spoiler alert, I don't like him that much this week. I love him next week in his second Augusta National appearance. I love Ludvig Åberg. On side note, have you seen Patrick Reed's bodyguard?
No.
We're talking the most yoked out goon you've ever seen in your life. This guy is gigantic, and he's an imposing figure. Let's just say that. You got to look that up.
Interesting. So download the DraftKings app and use code BP Golf. That's BP Golf to play free for a shot at the $1 million top prize with just a $10 deposit. That's code BP Golf for all DraftKings customers. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $10 deposit required. One single-use $10 ticket rewarded for Fantasy Golf Millionaire Contest that expires on April 10th at 7 a.m. See terms at DraftKings.com/promotions. Now for the Valero Texas Open odds. All odds are courtesy of our friends at DraftKings as of Monday. Please note that some of these odds may have changed by the time you watch or listen to this show. No Scotty Scheffler this week, both. So Ludvig Åberg opens as the favorite at 12-1. Tommy Fleetwood is 14-1. Corey Connors is 18-1. Patrick Cantlay and Hideki Matsuyama are 20-1. Jordan Spieth is 22-1. Akshay Bhatia and Keegan Bradley are 25-1. Denny McCarthy is 30-1. And Siwoo Kim, Daniel Berger, Keith Mitchell, and Tony Finau are 35-1. Do you like any of the favorites, Bo?
Well, as much as I like Ludvig in most golf courses, I don't think his short game plays up here. That's kind of the weakness of his game, is kind of scrambling around. It is a ball striker's paradise, so would it surprise me if he did well here? Not at all. I just don't think that his odds are reflective of how his game fits this golf course. So I think I'll skip Ludvig Åberg this week, and I'll go with a guy that hasn't played well in a really long time. To us, it seems like ages since we saw Patrick Cantlay do well. But I think that he's the perfect guy for this golf course. One of the best short iron approach players in the world, an amazing short game clutch putter. I think Patrick Cantlay is a spectacular pick. 20-1 is amazing odds for him. In this field, it's really pretty straightforward to take him. And I'm going to go for the three-peat by picking Akshay Bhatia to go back-to-back here at the Valero Texas Open. Akshay Bhatia, 25-1 as a defending champion. Fits this course like a glove. He's won before. He's won again. He's going to win again many times over his course of his career. TPC San Antonio, as unremarkable of a course it is, it fits his game perfectly. Akshay Bhatia is one of the best wedge approach players in the world, bar none. And we saw it last year when he took down Denny McCarthy in that playoff. It wasn't just the clutch putting and the clutch chipping that he pulled it together with. It was the fact that he gave himself so many opportunities for birdies. And Akshay Bhatia on this golf course is basically gasoline on the fire. I just love betting him here. And if he goes to back, then we're in big money again.
And not only that, Bo, but he's coming in hot. He's finished top 10 in 3 of his last 4 events. So the combination of course fit and form. So always good when you get that. Yeah, we haven't seen Åberg since he missed the cut at the Players' Championship. He did win the Genesis back in February, but in 2 previous Valero Texas Open appearances, He missed the cut in 2022, 14th last year. So no real course fit for him, as you mentioned. Tommy Fleetwood is kind of interesting. I don't like the price at 14 to 1. But
Gross.
in fairness, he has been a metronome of consistency this year. He's played 6 events. He's finished 22nd or better in all of them, although only one of those top 22 finishes has been a top 10. Fleetwood finished 7th last year at TPC San Antonio. Bo, whether another case, whether you're more persuaded by course fit or recent form, Corey Conners checks both boxes. Conners has won this tournament twice, and he's finished top 10 in each of his last 3 events. So, Akshay, Corey Conners, I think they both sort of hit that sweet spot. But boy, man, your Patrick Cantlay argument, he has not played this event before, but he currently ranks top 35 in both strokes gained on approach to the green and strokes gained putting. He's also a pretty good win player. So,
check and check.
Yeah.
And you're getting a lot more bang for your buck betting on a guy like that than Corey Conners, who won here twice, which is obviously a great pick, but he's still Corey Conners. He still has to overcome a non-existent short game and win purely on ball striking, which he has done twice here before. I just don't know that in this strong of a field, as they rearrange the schedule, we haven't seen Corey Conners win since they rearranged the schedule to put this tournament right before the Masters. So I think that there's a little bit of a misleading thing where Corey Conners is playing. He won here twice against lesser fields. So I think I'm a little bit lukewarm on Corey Conners this week.
Good point. One more guy I want to mention is Daniel Berger. Another good wind player, and Berger has been playing well. He's posted 5 straight top 25, so I wouldn't be surprised if he contended. Let's move on to some of the mid-range options. We've got Tom Kim at 40 to 1, Sam Burns at 45 to 1, Gary Woodland, Sam Stevens, Bud Cauley, and JT Poston at 50 to 1, Ryo Hisatsune, Maverick McNeely, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Jacob Bridgman at 55 to 1. Harry Hall, Ben Griffin, Andrew Novak, Kurt Kitayama, and Jake Knapp are at 60 to 1. Charley Hoffman is 65 to 1. And at 70 to 1, we have Ryan Gerard, Ryan Fox, Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Alex Smalley, and Lee Hodges. How do you feel about this group, Bo?
This group's loaded. It's really hard to narrow it down, but I will start with Bud Cauley. Came in 3rd in my first model run. This guy is an absolute demon making birdies. One of the best ball strikers in this field. Not the best in the approach buckets that I'm looking at, but he's top 10 in strokes gained on par 4s, which is a huge stat here. He's 3rd in tee to green stats, 7th in birdies or better. I think the Bud Cauley at 45 to 1 is an absolute steal. This guy's playing really good golf lately. That's a steal for me. And then Ryan Gerard, we just saw what he could do last week. This guy's red hot. Ryan Gerard is red hot, and he will stay red hot on a golf course that's ripe for the picking like San Antonio. 70 to 1 for him is a really good price. Those are the 2 that I've landed on. I took a closer look at Kitayama because of how he looked last week with the putter. Was much better. And then this is the Charley Hoffman Open. He usually does well here, but I can't get there this year. And then I took a quick look at Ricky Fowler, but his ball striking metrics have been pretty bad.
Yeah, the Charley Hoffman Open, indeed. I mean, the 48-year-old Hoffman isn't exactly in his prime, but he did win here in 2016. He finished runner-up here in 2019 and 2021. He's only missed the cut once in 16 career starts at Valero, although I think at least one of those was not at TPC San Antonio. Tom Kimbo, I just can't get on him. Like he currently ranks 7th in strokes gained on approach, just ahead of Scotty Scheffler. But Kim has just won top 10 this season, and that was at Pebble Beach. Like he's finished 36th or worse in all 5 of the events he's played since then. Sam Stevens is mildly interesting to me. Seems to be a horse for the course. He was runner-up here in 2023 when he lost to Corey Conners by 1 shot. Stevens has finished inside the top 20 in his other 2 appearances as well. Gary Woodland had that spectacular 62 in his final round at Houston. So he's coming in hot, and Woodland has finished 6th and 8th in his 2 most recent trips to San Antonio. anyone else to talk about? Chris Kirk. He's had some success on this course. He's been top 10 in 4 of his last 8 trips here, but he has just not been in very good form this season. Let's talk about long shots, Bo. Anyone you've got your eye on at longer odds?
Well, I got 3 of them. That's the name of the game. Is this golf course does invite some of the hotter golfers out there, and so I picked 3 guys who are playing great right now who are just mispriced. First one is shout out NorCal, Isaiah Salinda, pride of San Francisco. Isaiah Salinda going at 90-1 with the way he's been playing. He's been cracking top 10s left and right this season in his rookie season. He did the same thing on the Korn Ferry Tour last year. This guy's a really, really good golfer, really good driver of the golf ball, and his short iron approach has been spectacular this season. Isaiah Salinda, 90-1. I'm all over that one. I'm going to probably ladder him all the way through outright to top 20. Ryo Hisatsune, we've been on him periodically throughout the years. He kind of went through a long spell of pretty poor short game, but since he started sipping water and not swallowing until he putts, he's been better. He finished pretty high last week and 2 weeks ago. And then Kris Ventura, Chris with a K. He is 200-1, and that's a guy that I've played every once in a while on golf courses that fit his game. Just guys who drive the ball well, have good mid to short iron approach games, and who are riding a hot putter, even if they're not known for putting.
Let me throw out 3 more names, Paul.
Okay.
I like Tom Hoge at 90-1. I guess track record at TPC San Antonio, sort of a mixed bag, but he has had a couple of top 12s here over the last 9 years. And he finished 3rd in his most recent event, the Players Championship. And obviously Hoge excels on approach shots. That is his bread and butter. I'm intrigued by Stephen Fisk at 170-1. Fisk was 17. What, you like him? You're on this one with me?
Yeah, you might have to join you here. 170 is a good number.
Yeah, 17th at the Mexico Open, 4th at the Puerto Rico Open, 28th at Valspar a few weeks ago. And statistically, he's been pretty good all around this season, except for putting. Obviously a bad flaw to have, but it's at 170-1. Maybe he gets hot with the putter for 4 days. And I'm also mildly intrigued by Henrik Norlander. He's posted 2 top 20s over the last month and a half, one in Mexico, one at Valspar. Currently ranks 4th on tour in strokes gained on approach. So let's get to the early betting cards, Bo. Who's on yours as of right now?
So I have Patrick Cantlay at 20-1. Akshay Bhatia going back to back. I'm going to ladder him 25-1 all the way out to 10, top 10. Bud Cauley, I'm going to do a full on ladder with Bud Cauley. He's at 45-1 to win outright. Ryan Gerard at 70-1. Isaiah Salinda, shout out NorCal, is at 90-1. Ryo Hisatsune 120, and Kris Ventura at 200-1. I'm going to throw a 200 top 20 bet on Ventura as well.
Very nice. I think I'm just going to tail you on Patrick Cantlay at 20-1, Akshay at 25-1, and what are we getting Cauley at? Is that 40? 45 on Bud Cauley. So I'm just going to ride your coattails there, Bo. I am going to bet Tom Hoge at 90-1 with a top 10 kicker at plus 650. And I think I'm going to place very small little outrights on Stephen Fisk, Henrik Norlander, maybe be looking to, if either of those guys contend, hedge out on the weekend a little bit with some other guys. We'll see. They're going to be small bets. Now for the weekly one and done picks. Bo initially had Max Grazerman last week. Then we realized after recording the show that Bo had already used Grazerman at the Amex back in January. So he told me too. And so Bo told me he was taking Min Woo Lee. And Bo made the most of his mulligan. Min Woo's winner's check was good for just over $1.7 million. Meanwhile, I continued my boom or bust ways with another bust. I had Aaron Rai, who posted 3 straight top 15s before heading to Houston. Rai missed the cut. My 6th.
I told you not to do Aaron Rai. I told you.
I did him dirty, Bo. That's my 6th missed cut of the young season. You have 0 missed cuts, and you have now overtaken me and lead by about $1.5 million. I'm up first this week, Bo. I'm going to take 2-time Valero Texas Open champ Corey Connors. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna make sure I'm looking at this list, and I haven't used Akshay Bhatia yet. So I'm going to make sure that Akshay's not on this list that I've already used him. I haven't used Akshay Bhatia. I'm going to use Akshay today. And he's going back to back.
I think you're safe. That is all for this week's Betting Pros PGA podcast. Be sure to join us again next week for our Masters Mega Preview. It's the first major of the season, and we will be going all out for it. Until then, so long, everyone.